When talking about my personal mythology and experience of myself and its fragments, it's been very important for me, on one hand, to be able to reach universals and find language where I can talk to other people about these things. But also, I've been trying to preserve my own language, and this language is more or less the series of signposts that have dotted my roadmap to get around my experience with self in the first place. So, on the disability side of having a noticeable amount of fragments, it can lead to serious, like parts of your life that are seriously disconnected from other parts, to the point where it's certainly going to affect you socially and interpersonally. And if you are leading what seems like 8 or 9 different lives at once, at sometimes, even if memory is maintained, it can seem like it's been a very, very long time since you've been that person. And there can be an experience of remembering a scent that you forgot for a while, and then something will trigger it, and sometimes you can notice what the trigger is, and other times it's a little bit mysterious. But I've kept my language together. It's important for me going further in this research of self-actualization, and also dealing with this as a transpersonal study. It's important for me to keep my language so that I don't, in joining the what might be the mainstream discussion of this now, which is very important to me, these terms are very important as well. So I use my word synth, and it, for the most part, carries over and means alter. But I'm going to keep my own language, at least for a while. There are many uses of it, and translate while I can. And also, if I don't have a term, then I'll use a more mainstream term for it, whatever it is. So we're dealing with fragments of the mind, personalities of the mind, and they're ultimately archetypes, but they might be expressed differently. For example, I don't know if the Senthet are pure archetypes or bundles of archetypes. That's why I call them motive sets. So if you look at the archetypes elevated to the level of a pantheon, such as the Greek gods and goddesses, this is one study of the inner experience. And especially, perhaps, when these energies or these subpersonalities within us are raised to high levels. They have been before seen as gods, and at a very high level of development, one might say that maybe the Greek gods were a illustration not only of archetypes that can occur in society, which is one place they are, but also archetypes that can happen within an individual, and we might have them all within us. So I try to remind myself to add a call to action at the end of videos. So it's important, if you're interested in this at all, subscribe, comment, talk to me. I will talk straight back to you, whoever's talking to me now especially. So thank you for listening.